ambassadress twixt eternity and change, the omniscient goddess leaned across the breadths that wrap the fated journeyings of the stars and saw the spaces ready for her feet. This is the divine power that connects our world of constant change and the world of light and truth. There is you might say, a mediatrix, there is a force, there is a being. It is the aspect of the mother. She is the one who brings change. She is the one who makes new manifestations possible. She is the new dawn. Every day, this promise of a new light that she brings. She comes from the world of light. She brings light into the world of our ignorance. So she is the ambassadress. We live in darkness, we live in ignorance, we live satisfied with our ordinary state of unconscious or semi-consciousness. She has come to wake us up from that. We don't wake up, so she has to come again and again and again. So this dawn that comes every morning is also symbolic of the returning avatar of the mother power, who has to come back over and over and over again. Because there is so much resistance, so much attachment to the lower existence. We fall back into that state repeatedly. And so her work is very long. On the one hand, she knows. She has come to break us out of our sleep, like physically dawn comes to wake us from our sleep, the earth's sleep, or ignorance or unconsciousness. She knows it's going to take long. She knows she has to come back over and over again. So she is the omniscient goddess. She leans down from beyond towards the earth. This earth where the fated journeyings of the stars and saw the spaces ready for her feet. Page 4, Anureka. Fate, when we say there is a certain fixity, there's a certain absolute fixed pattern in which we are. Somebody is sitting here. A pattern in which we are trapped. We rise to fall. We are trapped in that pattern. We can't break out of it easily. Until we are one with the infinite and the eternal, we are in the cycle of fate, of birth, rise, decay, death. This is the pattern. Everything in our physical, material, emotional, psychological life is part of this pattern. The stars turn in the night. The stars are lights in the darkness. They know that they are there to illumine the night. They are there in the morning, we can't see them. They're always there. We move away from the light. We move back to the light. So this is our nature, that we are caught in this recurring cycle of rise and fall, of opening to the light and turning away from the light. So dawn brings this message of a new awakening. Every day it's a new promise, it's a new possibility. It is asking us to wake up to more consciousness, to a new light, to a new truth. Once she half looked behind for her veiled son. It's also physically very beautiful because dawn comes. There are clouds sometimes that cover that light. It's as if she is looking back to the source that has sent her to the earth. She is a projection of the sun. She is a daughter of the sun. Savitri means the daughter of the sun. Savitra is the sun. So it's like a kind of symbol. This coming of Savitri, this coming of dawn, this is a symbol dawn. This coming of the mother in the world of darkness, in the world of our indifference. She knows that we shall not respond totally. Man has too much ego. Man has too much pride. Nature does not. Nature responds to light much more spontaneously. The trees, the birds, the flowers, they open up. Man is not like that. He has a mind. He judges, he has his own beliefs, he thinks very highly of himself. So he doesn't wake up to the truth so easily because he thinks he already has the truth. His mind has the truth. So man takes much longer. And he rises perhaps in order to fall. Earth is moving in the world of space. Space and time is the field of manifestation. She is coming from the eternal. From the infinite, she is coming into the finite. So this space is the field of the finite. It is in the world of space and time that all things exist. Beyond space and time, there is nothing. Nothing that we can relate to. There is infinity, there is eternity, there is the transcendent, there is the supreme. But our world is limited to space and time. So she is coming from that world of infinity into our world of finiteness. This is the sacrifice the Divine Mother makes. This is the ambassadress, this is the mediatrix, this is the messenger. She comes over and over again. Over and over again, she is forgotten. Dawn comes to wake us up. Dawn doesn't stay long. She knows we won't laugh, we won't turn to her very easily. She goes back. She comes as a herald. She comes to announce the coming of a greater dawn. In fact, those are the last words of the book. The greater dawn. The opening to light until we open to the fullness and the greater light. So here we have earth felt the imperishable's passage close. Nature felt. In this world of time and space where there is life and death, earth felt the touch of the imperishable, of the eternal. The waking ear of nature heard her steps. It is as if in the plant, in the soil, in the mountain, in the river, there is a kind of a thanksgiving that goes up. There is a kind of realization that a new light is coming. Because surely within the heart of this world of nature, of matter, of darkness, of sleep, the principle of light is already hidden. We cannot wake up to light if within us there is no awareness of what is light. Light is there, that's why we recognize it. That is why we turn to it. Nature does not argue, does not discuss. Man is always thinking, I don't need this divine light, I have enough light of my own. Earth is not like that. Nature is not like that. She opens up. She is the force of existence. And wideness turned to her its limitless eye. You see the sense of, as dawn comes, you see the whole creation. the vast skies, the vast ocean, all these things, which until then, as the first line tells us, there was nothing, because everything was blind. When you are blind, you see nothing. You don't see the play of forces. You think the gods are sleeping. There is no expression of manifestation. As we grow, or as earth opens up, you see how much there is. It's all given to us. So the sense of the vastness, the infinite sky, the infinite ocean, the vast mountains, all these things, earth responds. Its limitless eye. And scattered on sealed depths, her luminous smile kindled to fire the silence of the worlds. Because this whole description is simultaneous of the outward nature, physical nature of mountain and sea and sky and trees and flowers, of our inner nature at the same time, of the inner being, of consciousness and change that is taking place not only in the individual but in the earth as a whole, in humanity as a whole. This is something very, very special and rare. Only he can do this, Sri Aurobindo. He's writing simultaneously on different levels. The same line applies to many levels. It's not only one description of one thing. It is one and the many in the one. So you had this, because in the world of Prakriti, in the world of nature, the infinite is already present. And there is a certain recognition and correspondence. That is, I think I mentioned that prayer last week, the 31st of March 1917, where she says each time that the heart thrills with the touch of the divine beauty, something of a greater perfection, something of a greater divinity manifests itself in nature, in the trees, in the birds, in the smile of a child, in the, you might say, the curve of a wave. That perfection, that beauty is revealed. It is already there. It is revealed. So earth also reveals the truth that she otherwise normally hides. Scattered on sealed depths, the sun is slowly rising, and so gradually the lower depths, it's like in the beginning in nature, it's the mountain tops that will receive the light. It's the same, those who are in a higher plane of evolution and consciousness, they will respond to the light. But in the depths, those who live on the lower levels of consciousness, or like those who live in the valley, or the valley itself, the earth, the mountains get the sunlight long before the valley. It's symbolic of man's state of consciousness. Those who live in the lowest planes of evolution, they respond to the light much later. They take a longer time. Those who live on the heights respond much earlier. Perhaps one reason why the rishis so often preferred to go to the mountains and connect with the light, because the physical connection of the earth with the light is felt in the mountains more easily than it is felt in the valleys. It can be felt in the valleys, but it takes longer. So those are the sealed depths. But even there, a moment comes when there is the contact with the light. Kindled to fire the silence of the worlds. Fire is life. Fire is force, energy. So that which until then, if you go back to again the first line, it was the hour before the gods awoke. It was, everything seems to have gone back into nothingness. A new flame comes up, a new real beginning towards a movement towards light, a new awareness, consciousness is always not only consciousness, it is accompanied by force. Consciousness, force. Chit Shakti. Where there is consciousness, there is force. Force of manifestation, force of expression. So the silence of the world, which until then was plunged in sleep, in dullness, wakes up. There is a response. Just like when you feel something inside you, you are touched by a new light, or it can be a new dawn. That kind of dawn can come at any time of your life. It can be at 5 o'clock in the evening, it doesn't have to be in the morning. But it's new dawning, it's a new opening, it's a new awareness of light. And then there is a flame of aspiration, a flame of the energy for the delight of existence, delight of manifestation. And this is what he describes, the delight of creation. There is so much beauty, so much joy the divine has put into the world. And earth responds, man takes longer.
This can even be the burning of fires in the kitchen, in the morning.
Yes, it is the symbol. The fire is what gives you, you might say, not the power of light, but it gives you also purification. The fire purifies. It burns up all that is impure, all that is unconscious. That is part of the symbol of fire. It can be painful, but it is beautiful. It is a flame that really is at the core of your being. And if you allow that flame to come out, your impurities also can start to get burnt. You can remove all your, not all in one chance, but still a little at a time. The oppositions, the hindrances, the falsehood, the ego, all these things. And we can move into a new world, a new earth, a new life. And this is a promise that is given to us every day. Every day we can move into this new world. And then the whole world becomes a temple. So there is manifestation of the divine, and earth and nature becomes like a temple where the divine is housed. He lives there. And so he uses the word consecration. Consecration is an offering. It's a sacred offering. Everything becomes holy and a rite. It is not a normal pattern. This is the early morning, because this has always been associated with the spiritual experience. The early dawn throughout history, in all cultures, this has been associated with the mystic moment. This is the Brahma Muhurta, where you can connect with the Brahman. This, unfortunately, is lost when it becomes day. Dawn is a short moment. When it becomes day, it becomes commonplace. It becomes an everyday routine existence. But that magical moment where darkness is slowly being replaced by light. The promise, first of all, of a new light. This promise slowly becomes more and more gorgeous, more and more manifest, and there is a kind of a thanksgiving that seems to rise up from the earth. Because earth cannot, nature cannot, man cannot live without the sun, without light. It is our life. It is, you may complain about the sun today, but we could not have lived without the sun. It's the same thing, we can't live too close to the divine. We can't perhaps bear the contact for too long. We have to be very strong and very pure. We are much more comfortable with our ordinary state. But it is given to us. This is the grace. This is the compassion that comes all the time. All grew a consecration and a rite. He uses a religious term. That moment is where living can become an expression of a divine living. Air was a vibrant link between earth and heaven. The whole world of air. You have wind is air in movement. Air is the field where things are transmitted. Beyond the world of atmosphere, there is no transmission. You enter into the stratosphere. But in the world around the earth, you have a circle of atmosphere. There is air. And in the air, sound, light, experience is transmitted. That movement, when air is in movement, it is wind. It's like, that is why in many ancient cultures, wind was also associated with a divine message. When the wind blew, as if a message is coming from elsewhere. In the sound of the wind, there were certain cultures that read divine messages in the sound of the leaves when the wind blew through them. It's saying something. So there is this association with the world of nature and the world of supernature. They seem to be linked. So air was a vibrant link twixt earth and heaven. The wide-winged hymn, again that sense of something mystical, spiritual, of a great priestly wind, arose and failed upon the altar hills. The world is a temple, the mountains are the altar, and the wind is the priest, because what is the nature of the priest?
Message.
To
give a message.
Yes, he connects. He connects. He is the one who relates us, ordinary human beings, to the gods. He's supposed, that is his function. So wind is what relates this earth below with the sky above. So wind is a priest. So there is this, as if you have a whole layer of spiritual, symbolic significances which he is giving to the physical fact that the breeze starts to blow. The wind sends a message. The way the trees start to move upwards, you see that they are climbing upwards, looking for the light. There is a kind of an aspiration that goes up from below. The high boughs prayed in a revealing sky. Man doesn't do that so much. The trees move only upwards. They don't move downwards, they don't move sideways, they move upwards. It is as if there is a kind of concentration in nature to rise up and up and up. This call comes. This is the response of the earth when the call of the new the ambassadress. She comes every day. She sends her message. There is a response. Nature responds with simplicity, with beauty, with harmony, without hesitation. Man takes longer. Man is a mental being. These are not mental. For them, there is a natural, spontaneous movement towards the light. Here, where our half-lit ignorance skirts the gulfs, this is our life now, on the dumb bosom of the ambiguous earth, here, where one knows not even the step in front, and truth has her throne on the shadowy back of doubt, on this anguished and precarious field of toil, outspread beneath some large indifferent gaze, impartial witness of our joy and bale, our prostrate soil bore the awakening ray. This is the consciousness of man as he is, where we live not just in total ignorance, whereas the trees don't pretend to have any kind of knowledge or ego, they spontaneously move upwards because they are made that way. Man has a little bit of knowledge and a lot of ignorance. And that is why when we live in this divided mentality, we always try to argue. We try to say, why should I? Why should I get up? It's too early. I don't want to get up now. What will I do? There's no need. It's very hot. I can stay in my room under the AC or the fan or something. I don't need to change all the time. My life is fine. I don't need a divine conscious guidance. I'm perfectly capable of looking after myself. See, this is the whole play. The mental ego, physical ego, mental ego. There's a resistance which is there. Because the resistance comes because we have a little knowledge. And that little bit of knowledge is always ready to come forward and argue. To say, I don't need help, I can do it on my own. Nature does not argue. She receives. She receives with simplicity, with humility, and so she opens to the light. The flower opens without any kind of, hindrance or hesitation. Man doesn't open like that. So, skirts the gulfs. What is the image of skirting the gulf? Skirt is to move on the edge, and the gulf is darkness. So we can at any moment plunge back into inconscience. We are not totally, not even half conscious beings. We can tumble down into the world of ignorance, and this is why it takes so long for us to change. This is the recurring cycle. We rise to fall. Everything that goes up comes down. Everything that lives dies. This alternation of light with darkness. And darkness is something that is very attractive. Not only is it sleep or dullness or inertia, there is also the darkness of the lower nature, the forces that hold us down, the passions, the ignorances, the resistances, the pride, all these things that keep us down. This is why earth is an ambiguous field. Ambiguous? Yes, but two opposite truths can be, you can see them simultaneously. Earth is the field of progress. Earth is the field of experience, which can help us to rise. Earth is the field where we can also come down in this world of matter, because it is also tied to inconscience and ignorance. So do we always take the upward path, or do we take the downward path? Sri Aurobindo gives very often the image of a slope, the ascending slope. But slopes don't only take us upwards, slopes take us down also. You can make a descending slope or an ascending slope. That is, I think, one of the prayers Mother had given to the kindergarten. I've forgotten the French, but you are down below and the sun is above, you are climbing up. All depends on what you have turned your back to. Tout dépend de ce à quoi tu as tourné le dos. If you turn your back to the ground, you see the light. If you turn your back to the light, you see the ground. It all depends on which way you have turned. This chance is given to man that he can climb. The same chance says he can slide. That is why it's an ambiguous earth. That is why as long as we live in our physical, vital, mental world, it is very difficult to arrive at a full transformation. One of the main reasons why so many yogis says give up this ordinary life of earth, move away from the bodily and emotional and mental life, concentrate only on your soul, on your spirit, live in that consciousness and reject everything else. There you become a realized soul, you realize your soul, you get mukti, you get moksha, and the rest doesn't count. But then this is not something Sri Aurobindo tells us, because if we have been given a body, if we have been given a life, if we have been given a mind, it has to be for a reason. It is not just for being rejected. That same change, that same manifestation of the truth that is there, the truth is in our soul, The truth is in our body. It is much more hidden, but it is there. It is to bring it out. It will take longer. It will be more difficult. The truth is in our vital. It is in our mind. But the difficulties also are much more complex. So this is why this earthly life is the life of difficulties and dangers, but of progress and evolution. It's the only world where there is progress and evolution. Matter. We are moving in the world of matter. Matter does not say yes or no. Matter is inert. What is the very characteristic of matter? Inertia, isn't it? So we are in that part of that world of inertia. And we go back to that inertia. So this is our material existence. We are proud of our mind. Here where one knows not even the step in front, and what is the value we give to our knowledge? I know so many things, I've studied so many things, I just don't even know what is tomorrow. I know nothing, but I don't like to admit it. I'm so full of myself. I'm so pleased with my developments. I've studied so many subjects. I've learned so many things. I can guide the world. I can't guide myself. So this is the problem of man. This is the mental ego. And therefore truth. Where philosophers keep on arguing, what is truth? That is the very nature of philosophy. The word itself means love of truth. What is truth? Where is truth? Is truth matter? It is verifiable. Is truth spirit? We don't know what is spirit. But some will say that is eternal, this is passing. Everything here dies. There, nothing dies because it was never born. That is where we should move. Others say, what is the point? We are living here. So you have different kinds of schools of thought, schools of philosophy. They are not based on direct experience. They are simply worked out through the help of the intellect. The intellect can see this much, it can't see further. Therefore, there is always doubt. That is the way the mind functions. It is light versus darkness, truth versus doubt, black versus white, right versus wrong. Otherwise, we don't have any notion of what is right. And therefore, our world is a world which is precarious. Precarious? Unsure, not safe. This is where we struggle. There is anguish, there is pain. This earth does not, it allows everything. Time is a very long field of manifestation. So we rise, we fall. It is outspread beneath some large, indifferent gaze. Just like the earth is beneath the sky, it is spread out. The sky doesn't come down to help within our reach. In the same way, it is as if the divine consciousness seems spread out above us, indifferent. It is as if the witness, supreme witness, is watching, looking at man, struggling, making effort, failing, rising up in order to fall. He does not come down, he does not stretch a hand down and say, come, I'll help you. We have to help ourselves. He just seems to watch. That is one aspect of the divine. That aspect of the divine where there is not always the expression of help. That is how he helps also, without helping. Just be, you try. There's a sense of supreme indifference. You can pray 100 times in the temple or the samadhi for something that you want. You will not get it necessarily. You might or you might not. He is not there to answer all your demands. He just watches. You have to move from where you are to what you have to become. And since he is the eternal, he can wait eternally. And take time. Man is temporal, he is impatient. The divine is not impatient. Take time. So that is why we seem often to feel that the divine is far away and doesn't care for us. Because what do we expect from the divine? That he should do what I ask him to do. I am in trouble, please help me. I need help, protect me. He may or he may not, we don't give him a choice. And if he doesn't, we say, you are not divine, you are not kind, you are not good. His business is not to lift us up, his business is to see that we learn how to climb on our own. He just watches. That is one aspect of the divine. This is known as the Purusha, the Sakshi Purusha, that watches, that doesn't step forward. There is the other side, of course. There is the grace, there is the help, that also is there. The divine has many aspects. One aspect is, all right, if you need help, I'll help you. But sometimes the other side also is there. You feel that there is no one to help you. So you have to find your own solutions from within. And you have to grow, you have to progress from within. So this is why this is our ambiguous earth. And therefore, our prostrate soil, prostrate is when you lie flat. It was dark. Now bore the awakening ray. The new light is not always welcome. You are shaken into a new stage of your life. It is welcomed by nature. It is welcomed, the birds and the flowers welcome the coming of the new dawn. Man does not always welcome. Whether it's a physical dawn or whether it is an inner change. You say, I don't want to, it is too difficult, I can't. But the ray comes, the guidance comes, the messenger comes, the avatar comes. So the awakening ray is the divine. The ray is the name for Savitri. She is the daughter of the sun. The daughter of the sun is Savitri. So it's a symbol. Savitri has come to wake us, to wake earth, wake mankind to the new light. Here too, the vision and prophetic gleam lit into miracles, common, meaningless shapes. Then the divine afflatus spent withdrew, unwanted, fading from the mortal rage. This is what is so sad. It comes, it illumines, it is not wanted, it goes back. Therefore, dawn is very short-lived. She comes for a while to wake us up. From within also, you recognize there is a new light, there is a new world, there is a new truth. We don't wake up, okay. She goes back. She goes back, she retires. But when she comes, common meaningless shapes become miracles. What to us are common meaningless shapes? Just a stone touched by the new ray of the new dawn, sparkles in the new sunshine. A dull stone on the roadside where the dew has fallen and the new early dawn is touching that stone. And you say there is light here. It's just an ordinary stone. We are stones also. We are dull. There is so much heaviness in us. But when sometimes something in us responds, then there is an opening. There is magic. It is possible. It comes with this message that we can all open. Earth can, man can, she can, but we have to make use of that message and the messenger. That's perhaps the reason why the avatars come and then the avatars go. We can't hold on to their message. So many have come and they all had to go. No one could stay. Earth said, we don't want you. Each and every one of them from the beginning of time. There is a kind of a rejection. I don't know if you have read that story of the mother of the Chaldean legend. You have read it? Yes. Of the Chaldeans were the ancient, they had a very ancient school of spiritual mysteries, spiritual knowledge. And there was this being from the divine who had come on earth. And man chased him and wanted to kill him. And he ran and he turned himself into a tree. It is the flower of the pomegranate tree, which is the divine love. It is there in nature, but man doesn't recognize. But the symbol of his coming, of his being really refused, changed, so he had to change his form. He had to become a plant. And that is the divine love flower. So there is this, otherwise ordinary shapes become, when you see the play of the divine, anything can become a miracle. Then dawn is slowly becoming day, so that magical moment, which is the moment of awakening, afflatus is something that flows in, that new light that comes in. Then the divine afflatus gave itself to earth, withdrew. Why? Unwanted, fading from the mortal's range. A sacred yearning lingered in its trace, just a little, a kind of, as if earth has been touched. We can look at ourselves also. We don't perhaps find in our nature the ability to keep the contact in all its intensity all the time. You might go for pranam, you might sit in meditation, you might feel perhaps a deep inner experience. Why does it not last? It fades with time. For a while, there is a contact, a yearning. Some call that I am not just an average human person bound by my capacities and incapacities. There is something more. And I can become that something more. And that too, after a while, goes away. That also we lose. We fall back into the ordinary state. So this is why Sri Aurobindo gives us the image of the spiral. From below you rise, you reach a height. Then this is the lower heights. The consciousness is still somewhere connected with the light. Then you fall back. And that is the recurring cycle. It is to break this cycle that she has come. How long will this go on? So actually this first canto contains the whole poem. The purpose of Savitri, why she has come.
That mother's image is the sketch, the spiral one on the center.
It's not a spiral. That is a different sketch where you have the earth there and the supreme above, and that is man's goes like this. Eventually he will reach the top, unless you do an intense tapasya and you go direct from below upwards. But that, it's okay. That is for those who really, the difference between those who sincerely do yoga and those who just live. Evolution and change will take place, does take place over thousands and millions of lives, and slowly something is growing in the earth consciousness. So it's like this. How many centuries that will take? Well, the divine does not count. A sacred yearning lingered in its trace. The worship of a presence and a power too perfect to be held by death-bound hearts. This is what is our problem. We can't stay close to the divine too long. We are small. He is the infinite. So somewhere there could be a link, but there, at present, the way we are, that power, which is light, which is the dawn, which is the new consciousness, remains to us remote. You can worship it from far, but you cannot become it, you don't come in contact with it, you don't want to touch it. But it is there. It comes, the prescience of a marvelous birth to come. This dawn is the announcer of the sun, the full rising of the sun. The sun symbolizes the supreme truth, the highest divine consciousness. The dawn is a messenger to say, he is coming, he will come. So, something in man and earth responds, but not totally. Why? Does dawn not stay? Why can't we not hold on to this message? Why do we forget again and again all that we have been given by her, by him, by life? The next line says, only a little the God light can stay. We can't hold on to it. Spiritual beauty, illumining human sight, lines with its passion and mystery matter's mask, and squanders eternity on a beat of time. Spiritual beauty illumining human sight. There are those who have vision suddenly. The visionaries, the seers, the sages, they are human. But they can see that matter is, behind the world of matter, is the presence of the divine. This is what Sri Aurobindo saw. This is what Mother saw, which is when she took so much time and trouble to train herself as an artist or a painter. This is what a painter sees. He doesn't see forms. He sees the play of light, of a power, of a presence behind the form. And that is, if he just reproduces the form as it is, he's not a painter. But if he sees the possibility of a new spirit or a new manifestation that is manifesting itself through the form, a flower is not just a few petals. It says something. There is a presence, there is a consciousness. If in the eye of the seer this is there, in the eye of the creator it is there, then we see that in the world of matter there is this lining of the spirit. He is using the image of the lining that supports, like you have a cloth or a dress and you need a lining that holds that dress. So behind this world of darkness and ignorance, there is the lining of light and consciousness that is holding it up. When your eyes are capable of recognizing this, with its passion and mystery. Passion is a word often used in spiritual language. It is not emotion or intense feeling. The origin of the word passion is pain. Pain, sacrifice. He sacrifices himself. He comes down. The passion flower, which is actually our flower of silence, it's a Christian symbol. The passion of Christ has come down into the world, has accepted to plunge into the world of suffering and darkness. In the passion flower, you have the cross, the symbol of the cross in the middle of the flower. So this word in the spiritual language is associated with a divine mystery. Mystery is spiritual knowledge. It's a secret spiritual knowledge that is unknown to men, unknown to the average ordinary mental man. But mystery is not what you understand nowadays by the word mystery, something that is unknown. In the spiritual words, the mystery is the sacred, secret knowledge. So this is the secret truth, that in the world of matter, behind the world of matter, in this world of matter that is our earth, our human existence, all that is, there is the presence of the divine. And so we live just for a beat in time, that is to say, our existence is short-lived. How long do we stay? And He is the eternal. He has sacrificed His eternity into our world, which is time-bound. Squander is waste. As if He's giving us so much. He's wasting His gifts on an indifferent earth. We don't care how much they have done for us, Mother and Sri Aurobindo. We may celebrate the 150th anniversary and all those things. Do we celebrate from within by becoming what they had come to do and say? For me, to live that is the best celebration. Not to have songs and dances and this and that. If you want to do that, it's okay, it's no harm, but that's not the reason. And we recognize the amount of compassion and grace that has been given to us. And we are completely unaware or forgetful of all these things. It is as if Mother has used that image also in one of her talks. There is the phrase in the Bible, the divine wisdom is like throwing pearls before swine, scattering treasures before pigs. They don't recognize the value of the treasures. We had better not be swine. Let us wake up. Okay?